With a foam like this, I think some of this creasing and some of the scuff you're talking about is purely cosmetic. It doesn't seem, I don't think it's necessarily an indication that the foam rebound and density is going to be affected that bad, do you?
I don't know. I would have to go and like really put some more miles on it to get to that point, but my gut says it's just not going to have that same initial bounce squish that you have on the maybe first 50 miles in this shoe. I just don't think that this is going to last that long. We'll see. Maybe I'll run it to the ground and I can come back and let you guys know.
Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And this is special. We don't normally do this, but we kind of had a challenge going. Meg said that she would run over 100 miles in this shoe and get back to us. And I don't know if you remember what we said at the top. I think you saw all the creases on it and you're like, it's not gonna last a long time. And my bet was it may cosmetically not look that great, but I believe that the foam would still have bounce after 100 miles.
Yeah, and here we are. I think there's 103 on these shoes at this point, and I can confirm Thomas is pretty much correct in that it's primarily aesthetics that you see here with the shoe.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it, because like I'm looking at it, Meg, I don't see any damage to the upper.
Yeah, so the upper held out really well. Surprisingly, because it is so thin, so you know, I was worried that maybe we'd get a hole or two after a bunch of miles, and I took this through all of the weather. So
yeah, you can
rain, the dirty streets of Baltimore.
I feel like dirty just holding this.
Yeah, all of the runs that I did in this shoe incorporated some sort of speed work. So if it was a long run, I had some marathon pace miles. If it was a workout, did everything from 200 to 1
So what you're saying
pace.
is you didn't do any easy miles in these 100 miles that you did?
Well, so obviously there's the warm-ups and cool-downs, so there was a few easy miles in there, but primarily these were effort paces.
And before you get crazy, be like, how did you get 100 miles and it's so quick? I'll just give you an example. Your weekly mileage this month, I was all excited. I got up to 61 miles this week. I'm getting ready for Chicago Marathon. Meg, casually, not getting ready for Chicago Marathon. What are you getting ready for right now?
New York and then the Marathon Project.
In New York, you're running for fun.
Yes.
Anyway, she ran 71 miles just this week. Obviously, from what she's telling you, it wasn't all on the Ray. She only brought these in when it was time to do some work. And as a matter of fact, you probably didn't use them this week. You probably had the miles in and were waiting for me to get back from China.
Yeah, pretty much that's what happened. But so let's get into how this shoe actually felt, because I expected the foam to sort of break down, to not get that bouncy, lively feel, and it to feel maybe almost more unstable the more I ran in it. And I kind of had the opposite experience. I felt like on my first long run workout in this shoe, I was kind of like tiptoeing around, was really nervous around potholes. Just
like a baby deer?
Didn't feel like it was real stable. And the more I ran in it, I guess maybe I got more used to it, more accustomed to the feeling underfoot, and so it actually became more stable in my opinion, which might have just from getting used to the miles.
So when I wore this, I felt like it was difficult to kind of like, you know, ratchet back your pace.
Yeah.
What did you think I was doing there?
That's why I looked at you like, what is happening?
Okay, to ratchet back the pace, did you still find that even in the higher mileage, you wanted to keep pushing the pace?
Yeah, and one thing I said in the initial review is that I thought that this shoe wasn't going to feel great in those late miles of a marathon when your form's breaking down, because it's so soft. But I actually found the opposite experience there as well, where my cool down miles in all of my runs were actually faster. And I think it's because you have this like soft, cushiony, forgiving feeling on your feet. And so it just felt great to continue to run fast in.
All right, so let's talk about this midsole. It does look like pretty crappy.
Yeah, and in fact, yours is worse than the one I'm holding.
Did you learn something about your stride?
I guess my right foot is a little bit more aggressive than my left foot, which
a little draggy.
I guess makes sense. So yeah, obviously where they have this exposed foam that is very, very soft, you're gonna see the most damage, and you can see it in the heel here. I tend to be a heel striker, but although you can also see it a big chunk out of the forefoot here.
But what I'm really surprised, this is really thin rubber.
Yeah.
And like honestly, It held up. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought you were going to wear out the rubber and have pieces falling off. But this held up.
Yeah, so, and I did talk to someone from Asics who said they tested this rubber for 200 miles. So again, this was 100 miles, and you can see it starting to break down.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it held up pretty well. And I think what I was most surprised about is despite this looking pretty awful, the foam continued to feel really good and very bouncy. And 100% you have to be someone that likes a soft underfoot feel, but if you do, I think that this shoe is really great and continues to feel great in the later miles.
So I do like a soft underfoot feel. As a matter of fact, this weekend I just wanted to take it easy on my legs for my run on Saturday, and I pulled out the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2 because I really like that soft, bouncy feel. Would you compare this to that?
I think that's probably the most similar underfoot feel is the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. This one is just lighter.
So much lighter, yeah. All right, so $1 million question. You're not Megan, you don't have 1,000 pairs of shoes laying around for testing. It's race day. You have these. You have also an additional, what is this, 300 bucks?
Yes.
You have an additional 300 bucks of discretionary income in the bank that you could spend on anything. You got a race coming up. It's not maybe a major, it's just I don't know, a fast half or a fast full. Would you wear this shoe or would you buy a new pair?
Oh, I'd buy a new pair. Yeah, I think just aesthetically, I'd be in my head about the fact that this looks so bad. It'd be hard to lace this pair up.
But performance-wise?
But performance-wise, yeah, I do think it'll last at least another 50 miles. I don't think you're going to get more than 200 miles out of this shoe.
Should we make a bet now?
I'm not going to do another bet on it. We're going to call it after this.
All right.
But I will say I was very happily surprised at how good the foam continued to feel.
All right, second question. Metaspeed Sky, Metaspeed Edge, or Metaspeed Ray?
You know, it's funny. I said in the initial review I would definitely choose the Sky or the Edge over. The Edge is my preference of the two over the Ray. But because this felt so good towards the end of those longer runs, I kind of am leaning towards the Ray.
All right. So what we've learned today is I was right, and that you would go with this over the Metaspeed Sky and Edge. This is your number one pick from Asics for race day.
Yeah, I think so. I would obviously, again, I would want a fresh pair if I was going to lace these up. But yeah, it's been fun to run, and I've enjoyed the miles.
All right, what's going to happen to these now?
They're probably not going to get a lot more attention.
So retire to the wall?
Yeah.
All right. All right, thanks for listening. And if you want to see more of these types of reviews from Megan specifically, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Also, like the video. Subscribe to the channel, check out our podcast, The Drop and Fuel for the Soul. Easiest way to stay in touch with everything we're doing is if you go to our website, believeintherun.com, you get the pop-up for the email. It's a weekly email where we talk about everything that we're doing that week and all our reviews. Everything's right there, trip recaps, all in one easy place for you. So check that out. Anything else, Meg?
I think you got it all.
All right, that's it.